Hi, boys and girls. We're going to get ready for Module 1, Week 1, Day 4. So go ahead and look at your reading warm-up. It says, read this sentence. The baby fox are adorable. What change should be made to this sentence? So look at that. The baby fox are adorable. Which one is the correct answer? Change fox to fox. Change fox to foxing. Change fox to foxes, or no change needed? Write the answer on your slate. If you chose C, change fox to foxes, you are correct. It should read, the baby foxes are adorable. We know that if a word ends in X, instead of adding S to make it plural, we add ES. So if a word ends in X, we add EX to make it plural. Here's our agenda for today. We're going to reread how to read a story. We're going to talk about our objective and our success criteria. We're going to practice making inferences. So we'll have an I do, a we do, and a you do, and then we have our closure and reflection. We're going to be rereading a procedural text today. This gives directions for the reader to follow. So we know in how to read a story, there are steps. There's a main topic in detail and steps that show a specific order. Here are all the ways you can be a successful reader. Today we're really looking at making inferences, and this is something you do in your head. You make inferences, and we'll talk about what that means. Objective. I can use text clues to help me make an inference. Today we're going to make an inference by using clues in the text that we already know. So we're going to use clues in the text and what we already know from our backpack, and we're going to make inferences. And why do we do this? We do this because it helps us think about the details the author doesn't tell us. So the author isn't going to write every single detail. Sometimes we'll have to make inferences to figure out what the author wants us to know. So how will I be successful today? You're going to be successful by discussing the clues in the text. You're going to think to yourself, what do I already know about this? What do I already have for my backpack that I know about this topic? And you're going to complete a sentence frame. So let's read about making inferences. To make an inference, you should use clues in the text to make a smart guess about something the author doesn't say. Smart readers pause while reading and think about details in the text. Ask yourself questions like, what do I know about the details? How can I use the details to make a smart guess about something the author hasn't told me? When you make inferences, you use clues to make a smart guess about something the author doesn't tell you. So you use clues from the text and things you already know, and to do that, you make an inference. It's kind of like a math problem. So you take things you know from the book that the author tells you, things that you already know about life, and you put those together to make an inference. So I'd like you to pause your video and go to your Google form. And on that Google form, I want you to write your name and then also fill in the multiple choice question about inferences, what inferences are. When you're back, come on back. Welcome back. So the reason why we are going over inferences is because on Evaluate, we missed this question. And also, inferences is something you are going to use a lot as you are reading for the rest of your life. You're going to have to figure out things the author is telling you, but doesn't tell you in the words. You have to figure it out by using clues. So this question was, how do the parents feel when their son tells them he wants to be a snake? It says, I want to be a snake, I told them. A snake, they shouted together. Isn't that a rather unusual pet? My father asked. I hate snakes, my mother added. So it doesn't tell us here that the parents were surprised, but I can use clues because they shouted. They asked a question. A snake, they talked about it being unusual. I know the parents are probably surprised that the boy wants to be a snake. So we're going to reread how to read a story and answer some questions and make some inferences along the way. Step 1. Find a story, a good one. It can have princesses and castles, if you like that sort of thing, or witches and trolls, as long as they're not too scary. Make an inference. What is the boy doing? As I look at the boy, I see he is looking at books. There's a lot of different choices. And he's thinking, there's thought bubbles around him. Here's a pig running, a witch. This looks like some kind of monster. And then someone fighting. So I know when I'm looking around like that and I'm thinking about a bunch of different things, I'm trying to make a choice. So the boy in this picture is trying to choose a book. And I know because it also says on step 1, you have to choose a book that you like. So he's trying to figure out which kind of book I'd like, and he is trying to choose a book. Let's move on to the next steps. Step 2, find a reading buddy, a good one. A buddy can be older or younger. Who can you read to if you don't have an older or younger buddy? Look at the picture. I'm teaching. You can look at the picture if you'd like.
Okay, I will.
Look at the picture and see if you can make an inference about who you could read to if you don't have a reading buddy that's older or younger. The picture shows a dog, so I can read to a dog. What else do you think you could read to? I want you to pause the video and answer this question. Who can you read to if you don't have an older or younger buddy? Let's continue reading. Or a person your age, or maybe not a person at all. Make sure your reading buddy is nice and snuggly, and make sure you both like the book. If you don't agree, go back to step 1. Sometimes it takes a few tries to find just the right book. I know when I've picked books before, sometimes I start reading and I think this book really isn't for me. So I go and try a different book. And that's okay if you do that, because reading should be fun and should interest you. So you want to find books that you enjoy. Step 3, find a cozy reading spot. Outside is fun, but not if it's very cold, unless you have thick woolen blankets and hats and scarves and cups of steaming hot cocoa. And not if it's very hot, unless you have trees to shade you from the sun, a hammock to catch cool breezes, and tall glasses of icy lemonade. Inside is good. Couches are cozy, so are chairs big enough for 2. Just be careful not to get stuck. So do you think the boy and the dog found a cozy spot to read, and why? I want you to pause and answer that in a complete sentence. I think the boy and dog did find a cozy spot, or they did not find a cozy spot, because. Tell me why you think that. Come on back when you're finished. Welcome back. Ready for step 4. Step 4, look at the book's cover. Can you guess what it's about? Read the title. That might be a clue. Look at the book's cover. Is that important? Why do you think it's important to look at the book's cover? It is important to look at the cover so that you can... why is that important? Let me reread to see if I can figure out a clue. Look at the book's cover. Can you guess what it's about? Read the title. That might be a clue. Okay. So I know that when I'm choosing a book, I often look at the cover first. So it's important to look at the cover so you can see if the book interests you and to get a clue of what's it about. I think that's why it's important to look at the cover. Let's keep reading. Step 5. Open the book. This is the exciting part. Read the story in a loud, clear voice, not too slow and not too fast. You can point to words if you like, but you don't have to do that. Once upon a time. Why do you think opening the book is the exciting part? I want you to go to the Google form and answer this question. Here's your sentence starter. It is the exciting part because. Make sure you write that entire sentence. Welcome back. Let's keep reading. Step 6. When the characters talk, whatever is being said, say it in a voice to match who's talking. I will save the kingdom. I am the most powerful in all the land. I'm hungry for lunch. Soon the castle will be mine. Beep. I'd like you to pause the video, and on your own, I just want you to read what the lion and the mouse, the knight, the dragon, and the robot say. So read that out loud, and I want you to make sure you listen to your voice and how your voice may change as you're reading those things out loud. When you're finished, unpause and come on back. Welcome back. Let's look at step 7. No matter what you read, hold the book so your buddy can see the pictures. Buddies get impatient when they can't see well. Step 8. If there are words you don't know, try sounding them out or looking at the pictures to see what makes sense. They were afraid the dragon would burn down the the castle. So the boy there is sounding out the word castle. If you need a break, you can pause for a minute and talk to your reading buddy to predict what might happen next. Will the castle catch on fire? Will the princess tame the dragon? Will the robot marry the princess? Will the horse make friends with the dragon? Will the dragon eat them all for lunch? What do you think the boy and dog are doing? The boy looks like he has a question. His face looks like he's wondering about something. And then I see the dog's thoughts. He's imagining things like the castle on fire, or the girl walking with a dragon, or the robot and the girl getting married. There's the dragon and the horse running away together. I think the boy and the dog are talking about what might happen next. They're predicting what might happen next. And I know the author gave me a clue because the author said if you need a break, you can pause for a minute and talk with your reading buddy to predict what might happen next. So I believe the dog and the boy are predicting what might happen next. Let's move on to step 9. When you get to the exciting parts, make your voice sound exciting too. Who dares disturb me in my cave? The dragon growled. Oh dear, oh dear. The robot was so scared. You can't read that, it's so small. What would they do? But the princess tackled that dragon and held him down. You must promise you'll leave our kingdom in peace. When you and your buddy can't stand it a second longer, turn the page to read how things worked out. It's so exciting when you're reading a book and you turn the page to find out what happens next. Step 10. When the book is over, say, the end. And then, if it was a really good story, go right back to the beginning and start all over again. What do you think the dog and the boy are doing now? I would like you to pause and answer this question on your Google form. Here's your sentence starter. The boy and the dog are. Make sure you type that, the boy and the dog are, and then answer the question. What do you think the boy and the dog are doing? Boys and girls, you are great listeners today. I can't wait to see your Google form to see what you filled out. Let's go ahead and end our lesson. Which clue in the text help you answer this question? So look at the picture. You guys just answered this question. What do you think the dog and the boy are doing? What clues helped you answer that question? If you said the text helped you because it said to go start over and read it again if it was a really good book, you might have said the boy and the dog are starting the book over. You might have even said the boy and the dog are reading a new book. Why is it important to find just the right book for you to read? I want you to think about that for a moment. Why is it important to find just the right book for you to read? And when you're ready,